All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave, fresh off that Gennady Golovkin, Ryota Murata fight. As you can see, I found my old school Triple G hat that I used to wear in my videos. Um, so Triple G gets the win, ninth round knockout, almost close to the prediction that I put in. I called it for the 11th round. I knew Murata was going to be tough. I kind of figured he would really dig to Triple G's body. And just because of his toughness overall, you just really can't get him out of there before. I mean, he has a couple of losses, but he avenged both of those losses and by knockout. So you knew Murata was tough. You already knew that he had like a hard head, and it was going to be a tough fight for Triple G. He's 40 years old. He hasn't been in the ring in over a year. Murata's been out of the ring even longer than that, but Triple G looked kind of old early. In the earlier rounds, you can tell he was bothered by the body shots that Murata was throwing and landing, and you can just tell that he was a little bit off his game. All right, but at once we got to the sixth round, Triple G started to pick it up a little bit, started to look a little bit more comfortable. He rallied strong in the sixth round, and then he went even harder in the seventh round. And after that, he won every round after that until he stopped him in the ninth. Murata still showed a lot of heart. I mean, he fought back in all of these rounds, but at the end of the day, he took way too much punishment earlier in the fight. I had the fight scored 3-3 going into the seventh. All right. But in order for Murata to stay competitive with Triple G, he had to take a lot of damage up top. He was going to the body a lot. If you notice in the earlier rounds, when he was going to the body a lot, he was getting hit up top. He was catching a lot of jabs. You would see his head getting popped back a lot, but he was taking the punches because he was dishing them back out. And it was cool, and he was making Triple G back up. We seen some of this in the Deverenchenko fight. If you notice, like in the first few rounds in the first Canelo fight, you saw that Triple G was backing up to some of the body shots. So Triple G has always respected anyone that attacked his body. He was definitely trying to protect the body, and when he was doing that, he was taking more punches up top. But once Ryota Murata started to slow down a bit, and those punches started to have the effect on him in the six and rounds after that, that's when Triple G started to shine. Defensively, he started looking a lot better, and Murata wasn't attacking the body so much because he was too busy protecting his head. You saw the damage, the bruising on his forehead. I mean, the dude is a real tough dude, but I just knew he wasn't going to be able to compete, and I figured he was going to get stopped at some point, unless Triple G was completely washed up. And he wasn't. He's older, though. He's older. And that fight doesn't make me feel like he can beat Canelo. Not at this stage, I do think he won the first fight for sure. The second fight, I think, is a toss-up, but I think even in that fight, I still think Triple G edged it 7-5. But this third fight, Canelo's just too good at this point. He's been fighting at 168. I don't know I don't know if there's going to be a catch weight. I seriously doubt it's going to be a catch weight or anything. I'm expecting Triple G to have to go up to 168 to fight Canelo if Canelo gets through Bivol. But I don't think Triple G has much of a chance of beating him now because as good as he still looks right now, he still looks older, He just doesn't have the punch output that he once did. Murata, as good as Murata, and I have respect for Murata. He's a good fighter, but Triple G would have wiped the floor with him if this was 5 years ago, If this is the night that he fought David Lemieux or any other fighter at that point, he would have destroyed Murata, But it was entertaining to watch. It was a really good fight because Murata did show up and he did give Triple G a good fight. He did have Triple G backing up. But at the end of the day, Triple G, it's a big gap between skills between the two, you know. And I think the only reason why this fight was as competitive as it was is because Triple G is 40 years old and Triple G is coming off a layoff. And I know Murata is too, but Murata has already lost against fighters that Triple G would have stopped within the first couple of rounds, you know. So there's a difference between Triple G and Murata at the end of the day. But it was still a really good fight. And again, not really looking for a third Triple G Canelo fight. I think if we had gotten a third fight, it would have been good to have one right after the second fight. But being that so much has happened between these two since that rematch, Canelo has only improved. Fought and beaten some. I mean, he dominated the super middleweight division, having 4 fights this past year, beating Daniel Jacobs when he was still in his prime. Canelo has just done way too much since that rematch, you know, and I think he's just even better. He's fought bigger guys. He's fighting at a bigger weight class. It's just, I don't give Triple G much of a chance. In fact, I think that Canelo is going to win clearly. If not stop him, he's going to win clearly. I'm more concerned about the body shots that Canelo land against Triple G this time around. More so than like Murata for this, you know, for example, in this fight. I know Triple G hardcore fans were watching this fight, and I know you had to have some sort of concern for him early in this fight, you know, because the body language, the way he was taking those shots, it looked like it really bothered him. Seeing him back up that much, it doesn't really look good because we remember him of how dominant he was with every single fight at one point. And we're not really seeing that right now. You know, we didn't see it in this fight. We seen it in the Deverenchenko fight as well, where Deverenchenko was backing him up and going to his body. I wouldn't go as far as saying Triple G is weak to the body. It's just that you go so many fights with watching him fight and being dominant and no one really going to his body. You know, the first time I remember him really getting hurt to the body is when Canelo fought him in that first fight and backing him up. I mean, obviously Canelo got tired. Triple G rallied and won the majority of the later rounds. But, you know, I think people know how to beat him now, you know. And I think anyone that Triple G fights from here on, they're going to just go to the body. They're all going to do the same thing, you know. So with all that being said, he's unified now. You know, Jamal Charlo's still a champion at 160. And I know Demetrius Andrade is moving up to 168. So I don't know if Janibek is going to fight for the title. I still don't know what's going on with the WBO strap. But Triple G is currently unified at this point. I believe he holds the WBA and the IBF and the IBO, which is not a major, but Triple G is officially the guy at 160, and we know he wants Canelo. I don't believe he's ever going to unify again unless Canelo loses the fight against Bivol. But I don't really see Triple G sticking around too long, you know? But, overall good performance. And I guess we just got to sit and wait to see what Canelo's going to do, you know? It's just that going into a Canelo fight again, there's a lot that's happened since that rematch. And Triple G wasn't even really that active, to be honest. And he was fighting guys that really weren't that good. Ryota Murata is solid. Deverenchenko was good. But Rose and Sarameta, those guys, not really on the level of the guys that Canelo's been facing at 168. Even the other two, you know, Murata is good. Deverenchenko was good. But the people that Canelo has been fighting at 168, Saunders, undefeated. Plant, undefeated. Callum Smith, undefeated. Just too many much better quality of fighters up there. Fresher fighters, bigger fighters, more skilled fighters as well. All right. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the fight. Good fight again. And I will be on here later on tonight to cover Ryan Garcia. And I'm going to also cover the Erickson Lubin fight as well on Showtime. So I'll be covering both of those cards later on tonight. So be tuned in to watch me go live. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.